back to a new episode here in SUALVI. Today is, I guess you could say, it's our 100 subscriber special. Although there's not like a lot of special things going on, I guess. Alright, every episode is special. Today we are going to explore the different capabilities of the camera shake effect here in DaVinci Resolve. So first of all, when do you want to use these kind of effects? It all depends on the type of video that you are filming and the type of feel that you want to give the video. For example, this video of this lizard, it's really stabilized. So I guess it was filmed with like a tripod or something. And this one is with the camera shake. It just adds a little bit more movement. Of course, that's the whole point of it, you know. But when do you want to use this type of effects? Well, you want to use them when you have videos where there's a lot of movements, like concerts. A lot of times you can see those videos from concerts and like that are really fast paced and there's a lot of lights and stuff going on. So you wanna, if you have super stabilized footage, it might look a little bit odd. So you want to add a little bit of camera shake to those kind of videos. And also like these ones, for example, in the club, this is with the camera shake. I was just playing around with the settings, so it might look a little bit crazy. So this is a stabilized one and it looks really nice too. I mean, you can use any video, you can use the stabilized version or you can use the one with the camera shake. The reason is that it all depends on the feel that you want your video to give. For example, this one looks cool too, but it also looks like it could be like the POV of somebody that's dancing also on the dance floor, and then it's kind of like going towards this girl because they want to steal the girl from this guy and dance with her or something like that. You know, it all depends on the story and the feel that you want to give. So first of all, where do you find the camera shake? The camera shake, you find it here in the OpenFX tab. You can go all the way down here to Resolve FX Transform, and you can add it on top of your footage, or you can also use an adjustment layer to do this. If you want to add the camera shake to a couple of different clips, it will be recommended to you that you use it on an adjustment layer. So then you can do all their changes in the clips and you don't have to like individually be changing each of them, right? Okay, so we are going to put these on this chameleon or lizard. And as soon as we put it in, you can already see that it sort of like zooms in a little bit. And the reason why that does that is because if the footage, you have the same original size, it will have sort of like black bars when the camera is moving. First, we're gonna go to the different sections here on the camera shake options menu. So the first thing that when you select your click is gonna be on top of these, and then when you add the camera shake, it's gonna show up here in the OpenFX tab. So first of all, the motion scale, it doesn't seem to be doing much, but what this does, it adds a little bit of the movement, the motion that it has. The higher it goes, the more it's gonna move. You see how then we can see the little black bars, and then the lower it gets, this more subtle it's gonna be. Then the speed scale is, as the thing says, it's the speed that the shake is moving at. So if you go really low, it's gonna move really slow and subtle. It's gonna have a really subtle move. So you wanna play around with depending on like what your video is. If you have like, I don't know, like there's an earthquake or something, you might wanna have like really crazy camera shake, but not to the point that the video cannot be understood, of course. And then the motion blur is basically, it adds blurriness to the movement. So the motion blur is cool. It's a good thing to use. If, for example, you want to transition, if you have two clips that you had cut each other and you would add this camera shake to hide some things that might have been too obvious when between the two clips. So you want to hide those little, I guess you could say impurities, I guess. And by using the motion blur, you're gonna be able to hide those cuts and to make it less obvious to the eye of the viewer. Okay, so then that's for the first part. Then the shake levels, the pan amplitude is basically from side to side. The tilt, I'm gonna put this really low also to not be bothered by that. The tilt, it's also a little bit like from the higher it goes, it moves like up vertically, I think it is. You see, if the tilt is 0, the pan is just gonna go left to right. If you tilt this all the way up and the pan is low, it's gonna move from top to bottom or bottom to top vertically. Then the rotation, it's gonna add a sort of a little bit of rotation. Then the PTR speed, basically that means the P from pan, tilt, and rotation speed. So this is the speed by which all of these are gonna end up moving. So the higher it goes, the faster all those things are gonna move, and the lower it goes, the slower those things are gonna move. The zoom amplitude, it might look like nothing is happening right now. And the reason for that is that we need to, before that has any effect on our footage, we have to play with the zoom speed. If we make it real like that, if we go all the way up, it's gonna look really crazy and trippy, and it might give you a headache or your viewers a headache. Yeah, so you want to play around and be, of course, you always want to be balanced. You don't want to be too sharp and what do you call, I forgot that word. You don't want to be too aggressive when you're using it, but it depends on your footage. Okay, so then the zoom type. This is outward, so basically it's gonna go out, as the word says, of course. Then inwards. We do outwards and inwards, it's basically just gonna do both of those movements. Yeah, it kind of goes out and goes in again. It just mixes both of those. But the better one is to just do outwards only, so the footage is gonna come towards the screen, because otherwise you will be seeing the black bars. Okay, so the motion method. These are different methods. I don't know exactly what this SINE means. I don't remember, and I haven't really looked it up, but I haven't really used any of these yet. So I'm not really sure exactly of what each of those has as an effect of it, because I don't really change these anytime when I use it. And then the border type, the blanking and handling. This is really useful when we use our, let me show you here with these black bar, because we need that. So the border is black right now. If you have a subtle black line, of course you don't want to, if you have too much, it will not look that good. But if you have a subtle little black here, you can fix that by changing the border type. If you replicate, it's gonna look that good. So see here, it looks weird because it has too much black, too much space in between from the clip border and the actual footage. If you reflect it, it's gonna add that reflect, like a mirror effect, and that could work pretty well too. It will be able to add a cool, could even be forgot that word again. It's like with all the effects of all these mirrors and all that stuff. But yeah, and then the last one is to wrap around. Is basically just it basically just replicates the whole thing again around the footage. So you want to do these, and like you can also play with the zoom to crop here to like adjust the size here of the clip. If you have little black bars, you might be able to zoom in a little bit more so it doesn't show those things up. So here, for example, in this clip that we had the black bars, let me see where there was. Right here, since this clip has a lot of lights and the background is able to hide things pretty well, you can replicate it and it's sort of like, it becomes unnoticeable because it's such a subtle fix that you add to it. Let's move back to black because I can't see it anymore what it is, where it was, right here. So then we can also reflect it, and it also does the same thing, and it fixes that. And the last thing, wrap around, doesn't work in this time because it basically copies this side of the thing here. So you want to be using the replicate and reflect depending on the footage. So you want to be trying around with these things to see what works best depending on your footage. And then the global blend, it just means like how much of the camera shake is gonna affect the clip that you have. And you see how here you can add a really trippy effect if you, instead of blending it to 0, if you leave it at 50%, it adds a sort of like a drunkenness effect, I guess you could say. If you have a scene where the character is drunk and is a point of view, or maybe like tripping on some substance, I'm not endorsing any of these activities, but if you have to show that effect, you can do that by using the camera shake movement and add it in editing the blending modes with it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. You basically just drag it on top of your clip or an adjustment layer, and then you play around with all these different things. So I hope that this video was useful and that I inspire you to make some cool things, maybe with this blending effect, add some trippy, cool videos to your portfolio. And yeah, so I hope this was a fun video to watch. It was a little bit all over around because there's a lot of things here and a lot of options. And if you want me to do a video, especially on the shake quality, I can look more into it because I haven't really looked much other than the things that are clear to the eye and useful. And if you want me to do a series of all these open effects here in Resolve, I can also try to do that and make a special series like that. So let me know down in the comments, and thank you so much for 100 subscribers, and I hope that we keep growing and that I am able to keep making videos that are cool and that help you learn something new. And as I always say, I hope to see you in the next video here in SUALVI.